As you eat a meal, your GI tract starts to fill up and your hunger will start to lessen. Satiation will develop. You have receptors that are in the walls of the stomach that are going to respond to the stretch of the stomach as you eat. Signals are going to be sent off to the brain, and you will begin to feel uncomfortable if you keep eating. So nutrients can also trigger the release of GI hormones. Both that gastric distension and those hormones will send messages up to the hypothalamus, which will in turn trigger satiety. That will make you stop eating. For a period of time after you've eaten, that feeling of satiety suppresses your feelings of hunger, which means you feel full and satisfied. So satiation tells you when to stop eating, and satiety maintains that feeling of not wanting to eat again. So how does your body know when it's full? Watch that. We'll find out. You can actually override hunger and satiety signals. Some people just have food cravings when you don't really need to eat. It may be because you're bored. It may be because you're depressed. It may be because you're anxious. It may be because you're stressed. Eating can also be suppressed by signals other than satiety. So even if you're really hungry, you can override your need to eat. Classic example, which is also quite tragic, is anorexia. Shows this incredible amount of restraint. And patients with this can ignore hunger pangs because they're so terrified of getting it. Studies show that about 50% of people can't eat when they're stressed. So it's still perplexing as to why some people overeat in response to stress and why others can't eat anything. There are various factors that are involved. It includes how you perceive stress. It includes your early socialization around eating practices. It is also going to include factors around your usual eating behaviors and whether or not they are restrained or enhanced during stress in your life. Make sure you watch that. Another major factor when food produces satiation and helps you sustain satiation depends on that nutrient composition of a meal. Protein is the most satiating. If you are eating foods that are rich in carbohydrate and fiber, you can also extend that duration of satiation because those fibers and those complex carbohydrates fill your stomach and slow down and delay intestinal motility. They also make you feel full faster. We are not talking about simple sugars. We are talking about complex carbohydrates. Fat, unfortunately, tastes so good. It has a very weak satiating effect. So if you're consuming meals that are high in fat content, you're actually probably going to end up involved in passive overconsumption of fat. Fat tastes great, and that might entice you to eat more and more fatty foods. So remember that fatty foods are also more energy dense because of that 9 calories per gram that they deliver. So you're eating more calories with each bite. At the same time, darn it, you're producing less satiation during a meal. So when you compare high-fat foods to foods that are high in fiber, like whole grain pastas, like oatmeal, and also to protein like fish and lean beef, The latter is highly satiating, the fat is not. They also provide a very wide range of nutrients, and they are, you'll remember, less packed with energy per gram, 4 calories per gram, as opposed to that 9 in fats. 2 great videos there. Catch you in the next section.